You didn't need to look at me like that. I never asked to be a vampire. I don't know anybody who ever wanted to grow up to be a vampire. Not a real one. Children generally want to grow up to be either cowpokes or astronauts or underwriters like their mothers. Little kids don't really sit around imagining what it would be like to live on blood and to live forever. Forever, okay? It's not all that great actually. Sure, you don't need to worry about where your money will come from, but that next meal is always a challenge. And you really want some people to be your friends with for a few years, but then one night you get hungry. Well, there's that. That's life. And the worst part of that is you always end up with that money. I like to take little trinkets to remind me of my friend. Then I go, that's it. It's a lot like being a vegetarian. Well, it is. Think about it. Vegetarians are opposed to eating meat, not because it is good for them, because that's debatable, but because they're opposed to killing. So they have to pretend that they don't kill in order to eat. So then, do they only eat nuts that fall to their sidewalks in October? Or do they only eat fruits after it falls off the tree? And if they do they carefully pluck out the seeds and scatter them around like the trees intended? No. No, they don't. They feel guilty. See, we all have to eat when we die. The survival instinct in vampires is as strong as it is in humans. For one, vampires all started as humans. Wait, you didn't know that? Pretty scary, huh? So you could become a vampire even if you don't want to. There's a 99 out of 100% chance of that happening. Because as I said, not too many children sit around preparing what it would be like for them to grow up to be a vampire. For example, my own childhood was perfectly normal. I was born in Virginia when Virginia was the West Coast. My folks had a little plot of land, raised vegetables, a couple of chickens, a couple of cows, several hunting dogs, and kids. I had 6 brothers and 6 sisters. I was the 13th child. Unlucky numbers, I didn't think of it as that at the time, really. So all of my family all took care of each other. I was cuddled as far as chores went. I had very little to do compared to others. Gathering eggs, cooking, baking, washing up, cleaning, and about 9,000 hours of needlework by the time I turned 13. And idle hands, you know. We were a bunch of God-fearing Puritans, really. Church was painful in every way. Children were meant to be seen and not heard. Well, except when the adults were around, which they mostly weren't, because they worked outdoors. My older sisters ran the house, while the rest ran the farm. I went to school up to 8th grade, and really I was cuddled as far as you know, I was a baby at the family, and my folks were really advanced in their thinking about education. For Puritans, I turned 13 when I was married to Mr. Withers. He was an older gentleman of 26, and he had just buried his first wife who died at childbirth. The child died as well, and at least I didn't have to go into a married life as a stepmother. On our wedding night, Mr. Withers bit me on the artery. I fainted. No one had really prepared me for that kind of wedding night. When I came to, I was no longer a virgin, and I was no longer a normal human being. I had the hunger. Mr. Withers moved on to another country about 150 years ago, and I decided to stay to watch this country grow. I make occasional trips to Asia, Europe, and India, but I mostly stay right around here. So what do you do? Do you have work 5 days that takes 5 days out of a week? Do you go to school? What do you do all day? I didn't really do all of that because I can't really go out at daylight. Daylight and fires are the two things that could kill me. So then I only took classes that were over in Harvard after dark. I didn't really have a diploma, but I tell people that I went to Harvard. Oh, very impressive. Do you remember that period in history? Cambridge had a lot of unexpected disappearances when I went to night school. When I worry about getting caught, or I was bored, or I don't really have anything to eat, I bury myself in the ground and take a nap. Once in a while, humans remembers that vampires exist and starts to hunt us. You humans are pretty funny when it's come to us vampires, you know? Y'all try to do a lot of weird things to try to ward us off, like crosses, garlic. Crosses! What's so scary about crosses? They symbolize immortality, for Christ's sake. And for garlic, I really love the smell of garlic. It's like my favorite aroma. I like the aroma of fettuccine with clam sauce made with garlic, not crushed. I like the one that's sliced finely or left whole, simmered in butter. That smells good. Of course, I don't really eat it, but I find myself very attracted to people who do. You could end me with fire, but no one has ever really done that. But then again, why would you want to? Destroy me, that is. I am simply cooling out the population. Don't you believe that you go when it's your time? I do. I don't really seek out the depressed and the desperate, but when I have the hunger, I believe that I am guided to those whose time has come. I don't really get hungry that often. I go as long as I can. I'm not really greedy. I'm not a glutton. In fact, when I first became a vampire, I was pretty anorexic because I was squeamish. But then the hunger came and you just can't control it, you know? And I think vegetarians can relate. You've seen vegetarians in McDonald's, you know, with Big Macs and fries at their hands. Their eyes are glazed over. They don't really see you. They are only focused on the burger at their hands, and they are really desperate to believing that they don't eat meat. They're justifying it in every way they can. Later, when they slink out of the place, they go home and they feel guilty until they can forget about their little trip to Mickey D's. Being a vampire is nearly the same as that. Then again, my life is very good in a way. It's just like having an eating disorders. I wish I knew about eating disorders 200 years ago. Then maybe I can join a group. Then again, maybe it's not too late. Maybe I'll join a group. Then I can really sort out my eating habits. But again, I'm not really a joiner. I'm more of a loner. It's a rough life, you know. So like it's forever. So when you're thinking about dying, or you're thinking about the time has come and you really don't want that to happen, please spare a moment to think about me. Not that I want your sympathy, just because I want like a glimmer of your understanding. Just think forever.